reflection of society. Okay, so English literature started from basically from Anglo-Saxon period, from 450 AD to 1050. Okay, but in your book, in your textbook, it started from 15th to 16th century. Before dealing with 15th to 16th century, I just want to tell you the overview of English literature, how it started, what period we go through with it, and what happened exactly. So basically, in Anglo-Saxon period, it started from 450 AD to 1050. Okay. Then that time, Old English literature called Anglo-Saxon literature. Anglo-Saxon periods, people were inhabited Great Britain from 50th century. Basically, what happened in the starting, there was a Roman Empire period. So Roman people were like ruling England. Then after Roman people, Anglo-Saxon peoples came, and Anglo-Saxon peoples were three tribes: Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. These three tribes came to England, and after that they started ruling England. And at that time there was Celtic period was staying there. So and they fight with Romans, they captured England, and they started ruling England. So that was the first invasion happened in England, in history of England English. Okay, so from these three tribes, there were one more powerful tribe, that is Angles.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning. I'm sorry for interrupting. Can you just repeat the three tribes that you mentioned just now, please?
Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. If you want, I can share my slides with you. Just give me a second.
Yeah, that will be great, ma'am.
Sorry, I couldn't able to find it. I'll just share something with you. Wait.
Okay, ma'am.
So I hope you all can see these words are period. Okay, Old English, that is also known as Anglo-Saxon periods. The three important tribes of that period is Angles, A-N-G-L-E-S, Angles, Saxons, S-A-X-O-N-S, and Jutes. Okay, so right. What is that? Okay, so right now we are dealing with Old English period. We have in your textbook, it started from 15th century, that is from Elizabethan period. Okay, but I just want to tell you the overview so that when we come to 15th century, you all should have some idea regarding what we are discussing. Okay. So in Old English, what happened exactly? Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, they started ruling England. The most powerful tribe of that time is Ingles. And from 547, 597, there is a person called Saint Augustine. He came, okay, and he started converting people from pagans to Christians. I want everyone to mute yourself, please. Don't disturb class. I have just 1.5 hours and I have to finish. I mean, we have total 8 class and I have to finish all this, almost 25 minutes. If you all will disturb me like this, then it's difficult for me to do it. So I was there. When Saint Augustine, he entered here in 597. That time people were pagans. Pagans means they don't believe in any god. They believe in sun, moon. They don't believe in ideal god. They used to think that there is no god. So Saint Augustine, he came with his objective and he started converting people from pagans to Christians. And after that, so what are the characteristics if we want to remember the old Anglo-Saxon period? So it's like old Anglo-Saxon period is a foundation of English literature. It's called Old English literature as well. It is a mixture of 3 languages. Anglo-Saxons, these were the 4. I mean, they don't speak English, exact English that we are speaking right now. That was Old English. That was very different. And at that time, there is no written English. People don't use to nowadays we used to capture. Whoever is disturbing me, please mute yourself. This is not the way how you are dealing with it. I hope you all are adult enough to listen to me properly. Okay. So that time in old English period, there were 4 prominent writers we are dealing with. First, Caedmon. If you have, I don't know whether you all have any idea about English literature or not. So let me explain. Caedmon was famous for his hymn. It was 9-line poem, which used to deal with praise to God. And before Caedmon, there was Caedmon and another writer was, one second. King Alfred, he was very famous. He used to translate Latin and French works. And another, Wolf, he wrote 4 poems. First is Fates of Apostles. Second is The Christ. Third is Elena. And fourth is Joanna. You just get to know this in a brief way. You don't have to study all this. I just want to finish this overview so I can start from 15th century to 16th century. Okay. So this period is over. Old English period is over. In 10, some people say that it's 1066. Remember the date. Date can be mismatched in so many books. You will find different dates. So that is not exact dates. We don't have. Don't worry about dates. Net people are not going to ask you those dates which is not fixed. Okay. Then started a period called Anglo-Norman period. And what is the difference between Anglo-Saxon period and Anglo-Norman period is in Anglo-Norman period, English started merging. Okay. In Anglo-Saxon period, they have their own language. They have their old English language. It's not exactly English, but because of Anglo-Norman period, English started. And Anglo-Norman basically deals with two languages. They started, Anglo-Saxon people came to England. They brought their own English. They brought their own language in England, and that language was French. So English is not just a language. It's not like came automatically. It is a merge. It is a mergence of 2-3 languages: French, Latin. So there are so many languages which led to the foundation of English. And after that, when Anglo-Norman period was there was a period happened that's called Crusades. Crusades, what happened in that period is In 11th century, Pope, Holy Roman Empire was ruling all over England. So he was ruling England that time. Pope was spreading Christianity all over. Pope called the all Christian people to fight for the Muslims by Europeans. So he doesn't like Muslims that time. So he just wants Europeans to go and fight the Muslims to recover the Holy Land in the Near East of England. Okay, that time our Holy War happened and want to spread Christianity in the East. This war is called Crusades, and whoever taken the part in that is called Crusaders. Okay, so this is what about Crusaders. And when Crusaders returned from East, they brought so many manuscripts with them. Manuscript means holy books or books, kind of books and text, and they had composed by the ancient Magistratian society, and these included, and those books were Greek and Roman philosopher books. So whenever they are going for fight, they bring them some kind of books from that country and they started reading it. And that's how the reading started in England. Scientists, astronomers, and mathematicians, these kind of people started merging because they started reading books. This period is also called cross-fertilization period. Okay, what is the exact meaning of cross-fertilization is it's the idea came from one place to another place. So whatever, obviously they are going there, they are bringing their manuscript with them. That means they are exchanging their ideas. Because when we are reading some other countries, okay, fine, let's take a normal example. When we watch web series of some other country like Korean, Chinese or something, what we are dealing with, we are taking some idea, we are getting they are dealing with these kind of situations. Even so many romantic series are very similar to like Indian series. So whenever we read some other country book or whenever we watch some other country web series or movies, it forces us to think in that way. It forces us to take their ideas. And in that period, one more thing happened. Church started losing their power. That time, only Catholic Church was powerful. So how church started losing their power is there was 3 incidents happened in the same time. Okay, first is Black Death. In that, 1/3 of the England population died because of that disease. Second is Peasant Revolt. Peasant Revolt is happened because whoever is going for, okay. Third is 100 Years War. So what 100 Years War is happening between France and England. So whoever is going to war, okay, the rest people who are staying in the country, people, the ruling monarchy started taking so much of pennies from them. So farmer peasant revolt happened because they were like, we don't have that much amount to pay you. Exactly what happened, I'll tell you in the sequence way. 100-year war was happening between England and France, because that even started because it has a reason. If you read the book called Bede, the Elasticial History of English Literature, written by Bede, he was an Anglo-Saxon poet. Okay, so in that book, you will find the exact reason why 100 Years War happened. So 100-year wars happened because France, England King Harold, he gave promise to France King. France King who? I don't remember the name of that king. Okay, England England King gave promise to France King that after me, I'm going. My England will be yours, because England King Harold doesn't have their own here. Here means उसके पास उसका खुद का वो नहीं था, अपना बच्चा. So that time there was a rule ना, only what's the rule that Raja का बेटा राजा बनेगा. That means whoever is in the ruling party, their own blood shell will become the king of that period. Okay, so Harold doesn't have their own here. He doesn't have their own son. So because of that, he promised to France King William, he promised to France King William that after me, I will I will give my England to you. But what he did, instead of giving England to the France king as per his promise, he gave England king to to his nephew. And because of that, when France can get to know that, yeah, he's not giving us the England as he promised us, so they attacked to England, and because they started fighting with England, and that is the reason why 100-year wars was happening. So that time again, when war was happening, people are going through ships, because that time there is no aeroplanes, there is no two-wheelers properly, there is no like motor engines like we have right now. Okay, so they used to go into the ships and they used to fight with other countries. So they were traveling, they were going from England to other countries. In the ships, there is so many rats are coming. Okay, and because of a black death is a disease came from rat. It's called black plague also. And when that disease entered in England, when so many rats entered in England, they started like eating. What rats do? They mess the things. Okay, because of rats, black death started. So many people started dying. It's just like a corona right now happened. Okay, because of one person, other person is getting infected, because we don't have that immunity system to fight with that disease. So in the same way, that time people doesn't have so much immunity system to fight with that black plague. So that's why 1/3 of the entire England population died. With that, there is a third thing going on, that was peasant revolt. Because of 100 years death and 1/3 of the population left in England, and now whoever I mean whoever left in England, whoever still alive, king started charging so much many tax from them. So because they could not able to pay tax, because their health is not good, even their family members died and they need their money for themselves. So there was a person called what Sir Tyler. Yeah, Sir Tyler. He started this revolt, peasant revolt. So what exactly? Why I'm telling you all this is because now my question is, how church lose their power. So this is the whole reason. When people are getting infected by black plague, when they are suffering from that disease, they what used to happen in the old days, they in Catholic time, Catholic church, people used to go to Catholic church. They used to tell whatever misdeed or whatever sin they did. They used to tell this to what the priest of that church. They used to tell the priest, and then they used to say that they used to give their money to that priest, and they confront the sin they did, and they think that after confronting and after giving money to the priest, their sin will be over. But is and when they are doing like this, they are going to churches, saying their whatever sins they did and praying to God. Praying to God means, yeah, they are praying to God, but with that they are giving money to the peasants, to the church people who were the head of the church. And when they find out that even after giving so much money to the church, even after praying so much to the God, our disease is not curing. Okay, we are not getting better. Our situation is getting worse day by day. So they decided not to believe in Catholic Church. They decided not to believe in God. So the peasant revolt happened because of Sir Tyler. With that, Sir Tyler also started one revolution that is called Protestant. There was another party came in England that is called the Protestant. So there were two people. There were two kinds of people were there in England right now. Catholic people who used to believe in Catholic Church, Protestant people who used to believe in church, but a different kind of church. They don't believe fully. They don't think that the only priests are the powerful one. They don't believe that whatever priest is going to say, we will listen to them. The Protestant people believe that they have the capability, they have the caliber to think. They wanted to read the Bible. They wanted to know exactly why we are facing this kind of disease. And because of Black Death, Then science emergence started. People started reading their books. People started knowing the fact that why all these things is happening with them. So even with that time, there was some Middle English literature poets. I'm going to tell you the names of all those poets. First is Geoffrey of Monmouth. He was a Latin poet. Okay. And his best chronicle is kind of a newspaper. Okay. His best chronicle is The History of English of Britain. And in Latin, we call it Historia Regum Britannia. Okay. And second one is Ways. You will find all this not in your textbook, but you will find all this in the history of English literature. Second writer is Ways, Robert Ways. Okay. He was a French poet. His famous work is Roman de Brut. Third person is Layman. He was an English poet, and his work is also Layman. And there was a fourth poet who is called Pearl Poet. His name is not written, and he dealt with three to four poems: Pearl, Purity, Patience, and the Green Knight and the Sir Gawain. This is a very good story of Green Knight and the Sir Gawain. If you read it, you will get to know this. So this is all about a very brief history of Anglo-Saxon period, the Old English period. Now, after Old English period, from 1300 to 1400, Chaucer came. Chaucer came, and obviously I told you about 100 years death. Okay, the period between the timeline of 100-year wars is 1337 to 1453. If it's possible, so in 100-year war, three things happen. Okay, first, England people started during this war. All Britishers were fighting, and that time there is a sense of unity developed between them. That's called English identity. And people refused to adapt to French culture anymore. They were like, why we would adapt to French culture? We are not French people. So, and they don't want to use the French language as well. So they started their own language that is called English. So whenever they are going to fight with France people, because France people have their French language. If they are also going in a war and they are also talking in a same language, opposite person's language, then obviously they will lose. So they started their own identity. They started their own English identity, we should say that. And in that 100-year wars, there were three. It's not like 100-year wars happen regularly. It happened in intervals. Okay. So, and every battle have their names. I want to tell you those battles which is won by England, because we are reading British literature. Okay. First thing, why England people won that war? Because they started using longbow method. Method. What is that? If you see, before that, people used to use crossbow. Crossbow means it's like a D-shaped bow, and when we straw the what I call the arrow in that, it will go. It won't go so long. In longbow method, what happened? They started using a long D, and like this they used to do. And that time, England basically won the few battles from France because of longbow method. And the battles they won is Battle of Crecy, that happened in 26th August 1346, Battle of Poitiers in 1356, and the Battle of Agincourt in 1450. I told you about Black Death, that 75 to 200 million people died because of it. And that happened because of that. And that time people started questioning the healing power of clergy and Christianity. Okay. They are losing hope and faith on God. Because of this, it led to the development of medical science. And people started believing in science instead of superficial things and beliefs. Okay, they were like, there is no God, and we have to cure ourselves because no God is coming here and curing us. In that period, three more important things also happened. English became the language of court in 13, because gradually when English started winning the few battles, English became the language of court in 1362, language of parliament in 1363, and language of education and teaching in 1386. Now I'm going to tell you about the brief history of Chaucer. Chaucer used to deal with three periods: French period, Italian, and English. In French period, he wrote few books like Roman de la Rose, Book of Duchess, ABCD, A Prayer to Virgin Mary. Okay, second is Italian period, the poems, The House of Fame, The Parliament of Fowls, Troilus and Christie. You have to read this if you are going to write a net exam or anything related to English, if you want to make a career in English. And if you don't want to make a career on this, then you don't have to remember all these things. Okay. And his famous work, Chaucer's famous work is Canterbury Tales. Now I have to move fast because I have to tell you, I have to take you to the 15th century. Give me a second. Yeah, and there were some contemporaries of Chaucer. His famous contemporary is William Langland. His major work is Piers the Plowman. Okay. Second one is John Mandeville. He used to write the travel memorial, The Travel of Son John Mandeville. He wrote that travel memorial on his own name. Okay. Fifth is John Wickliffe. John Wickliffe was the only first person who started the translation of Bible. He was like, not only clergy people should not know the Bible, and not only clergy people should be educated. Everyone has right to be educated, and everyone has right to know what clergy people is doing. So because of the translation of Bible, people get to know that church people are like, they are manipulating them, they are taking lots of money from them, and even that is not useful. Then started Age of Revival. Age of Revival started because of the printing press. Now till now, people used to write. People started writing their texts, their works in the book or in the big post or something. But because of printing press, now people have the relief that because when people used to write their book from their own hand, that is very costly and normal people can't afford it. So when printing press came, it was very easy for all of them to read the text. Okay.
Ma'am, so are we referring to the Renaissance period here?
Not yet. I'll start it.
Okay.
Do you have any idea about Renaissance period? Renaissance period. If anybody have any idea, just let me know. Then I'll get to know what should I explain or not. I mean, obviously it's very difficult for any person to finish this entire book in an 8-day class. Anyone has any idea about the Renaissance period? How it started?
Yeah, it's the paintings and all those development that took place, no ma'am? It's like rebirth period with all the development taken place and important people and their contribution towards paintings and all.
Yeah, that's true. That was
artistic styles.
Renaissance period. Why we call it Renaissance? What is the meaning of Renaissance exactly?
Rebirth. Renaissance is rebirth.
What is it is about rebirth? What we are, I mean, what is a
like there's a change in the society, entire society, a reformation, developments have taken place in different fields.
Yeah, because before Renaissance, people were fighting for lands. They were like including in wars. They were like curing themselves. Science is developing. People are like very messy. I mean, they're just like going towards science. So in Renaissance period, everything is going to settling down. And because of that, rebirth started. Rebirth of text, rebirth of art, rebirth of culture, everything. That's why this period is called the rebirth. Okay, I need to share some slides with you. 1 second. Where is
మాట్లాడకు నువ్వు. Madam, sorry to interrupt. Can you please say what are the dates for the exam?
Okay, I'll tell you the date. Okay, Old English. You want to know the Old English period from Old English to the modern English, right? Okay, now let me tell you, if you have any doubt, then ask me again. Old English period, that means Anglo-Saxon period, started from 450 AD to 1066 AD. Okay. Then second, Middle English, that's Anglo-Norman period. It started from 1066 to 1340. Then Age of Chaucer, 1340 to 1400. Then late middle period, that is from 1400 to 1500. Then started the Renaissance from 1500 to 1660. Then started Elizabethan age in 1558 to 1606. Oh, 1603. Then Jacobean age start. If you go and Google it, or if you go, you will find it. Jacobean age started from 1603 to 1625. And then started end of Renaissance. In that 3 period happened. Caroline age, that is from 1625 to 1649. Second is Commonwealth period. It started from 1649 to 1660. And neoclassical period started from 1660 to 1798. In that also 2 ages happened: Restoration age, age of Dryden, 1660 to 1700, and Augustan age, age of Pope, also known as age of reason, 1700 to 1745. See, all age is very messy. I can understand. It's very difficult to remember all the things. But if you are if you want to take your career in this field, in the English literature field, then you have to read. You have no choice. Okay. Where I was. Yeah, the Renaissance. I want to tell you the social background before I'll start Renaissance. So there was a king called Henry VIII. If I have the story of it.
ఇప్పుడు ఆపా.
Please mute yourself.
Say us the examination dates, madam.
Examination. You wanted to know the examination dates or the classes
In
date?
which month we are gonna have that, because we are not getting any information. No,
Okay,
not the classes, examination, because we are not getting the information exactly.
After classes, I mean, after 8 days of, after a month, you will get to know. You will get the circular. Don't worry about it. So, Renaissance is basically a period which began in 14th century, which people taking interest in learning, and earlier times, especially in culture of Greek and Rome. The French word Renaissance implies rebirth, as she told me. And even I am telling you, rebirth, it is about rebirth of what? Rebirth of classical period, classical text, classical art. And the important work of that time is paintings by Michelangelo. You will find that in your textbook. Okay. There was a time before Renaissance where people were blindly following church. Okay, as I told you, that's why I'm telling you the background of that, so you can link that what I am telling you. They did not see that humans are also important. They felt that we should only worship God, and people believe we are sin from God. They used to think that whatever we are doing, we are just a sin of God. 1 second, give me a second. I'll open one. Yeah, you can see now. See here. This is all about Renaissance. Renaissance was a time of rebirth in creativity in Europe in the 1300s. It brought change in many areas like political, government area change, social, people change, economic, business, trade, money, and cultural change. So Renaissance is a period of rebirth of so many things, not just art, culture. It's also a period of social, political, economic, as well as cultural change. People are just fed up of 100-year wars, Black Death, peasant revolts. It's like before that there was just fights, wars, everything is going on. Now, what people want peace. So when they are getting peace, I mean, you have heard that a proverb like idle mind is a house is a devil house. So obviously people can't sit idle. So they started when they're going to another country, and when people are going to another country for war, they are taking manuscripts of that country, and when they are bringing so many manuscripts to their own country, they started reading it. And what they find out that Italy is a that time Italy was a country full of culture, full of texture, that they can learn so many things from Italy. So uh, most important, however, were the changes in the way that the people viewed themselves and their world. During this time, what happened? There was a renewed interest in classical learning, especially the culture of ancient Rome, because obviously they are reading other countries' text. Okay, so they are getting to know the information what is happening in their country, and even when they are comparing their country to the another country, they can able to find out that what is missing in their own country. Okay, when we compare right now our country India to America, we can say na, yeah, this is in this areas we Indians are lacking. In the same way, when they started reading their own text, they can able to find out in which areas their text is lacking. Okay, this was a time of rebirth after a disorder and disunity of the Middle Age. Some elements of the Middle Ages remained, however. After all, the Middle Ages has preserved much of the classical heritage. Latin has survived as the language of the church, but still, Catholic people, still using Latin language, and of educated people. Okay, when the period of Chaucer from 1300 to 1440 or 1416. Okay, that time Latin and French was the prominent language of the England. So whoever used to speak in English, they will consider minority, not the majority, because and whoever is talking and reading text in Latin and French, they used to consider as the aristocrat people. Okay, but English took their own place while 100-year wars was going on. Don't forget that. Then Latin has survived as a language of church and educated people. Mathematics of Elucid, the astronomy of Ptolemy, and the work of Aristotle were well preserved as well as carried out into the Renaissance. Where the Renaissance did produce new attitude towards culture and learning, unlike medieval scholars who debated the nature of life after death. Renaissance thinkers were eager to explore the richness and the variety of human experience in the here and now. At the same time, there are new emphasis on individual achievement. Indeed, the Renaissance ideal was a person with talent of many fields. So here, what this paragraph is saying, Renaissance people are like very curious to learn so many things. They don't want to be stick into their own country. They wanted to learn so many things of so many cultures of so many countries. Okay. The Renaissance supported a spirit of adventure. And because they wanted to learn so many things from so many countries, so that's why the adventurous type of stuff started happening. And adventure and wild ranking, because right now England was emerging. Obviously, people are like going to other countries. They are searching. They are getting to know what is lacking in their country. And in this period only, when Vasco da Gama came to England, and he that's why there is a term called Vasco da Gama discovered India. It's not like that we Indians were not there before. We were there before, but because Britishers came to India, they ruled us, and we are reading the text according to Britishers people. That's why there is a line called Vasco da Gama discovered India. It's not like that India were not there before. Yeah, England people didn't know about it. But as we are reading British English, as we are reading British culture, so that's why, and the same way happened to Columbus, who discovered America. So we were like very small countries. We were just living in our own world. And England people, they were like very adventurous. They want to learn more. They want to explore more. So because of the exploration, because they want to learn more things, because they want to rule other countries, the exploration started. They started coming to different countries, small parts of the different country, and they started ruling over them. Okay. With that Italian beginnings, what happened? The Renaissance began in Italy in the mid 1300s. Then spread north to the rest of Europe. It reached its height in the 1500s. So in Italy, Renaissance started basically in 1500s. It began in Italy because Italy was the center of ancient Roman history. Because Italy was a center of knowledge at that time. There were so many good manuscripts were only in Italy. If we go and read the English history, there is like, before Britishers, we don't have proper manuscripts, proper textbooks. I mean, we do have some, but that is not sufficient for us to get some knowledge. But in Italy, it wasn't like that. Italy was a center of knowledge that time. So whenever England people or any other country people are going to Italy, they are just like stealing their manuscripts and bringing to their own country. Okay. It began in Italy because it was a center of ancient Roman history, as I told you. Architectural remains, antique status. Oh, they are not just stealing their holy book or manuscript. They are even stealing architectural remains, antique statues, coins, inscriptions were all visible reminders to the Italians of the glory that was Rome. Italy also differed from the rest of Europe, as its cities had survived the Middle Age. In the north, cities like Florence, Milan, Venice, and Genoa grew into prosperous centers of trade. So Italy, before that, Italy has an idea of like trading, but England people, no, I have no idea. When England people came to Italy, they started thinking, oh, this is, then barter system started. Barter system is basically, if anyone is from economic background, they should have known what is the meaning of barter system. That time, before coins, there was a barter system. In that, if I am I am selling my cotton to you, instead, and in return I want something else, so I used to give my cotton to that person. I used to take that thing to another person which I want. So that is called barter system. Exchange of things is called barter system. Okay. And after barter system, coins started, and coins started in England because of Italy only, because in Italy there was a coin system was happening. This was all about. I don't want to go into the depth of this. I want to, 1 second. Okay, I have to cover Dr. Foster's also today. Yeah, then at the heart of Renaissance was the intellectual movement known as humanism started. Humanism focused on worldly objects rather than religious issues. So here, humanism started. Obviously, when people get to know that a God is doing nothing, it's not like only because of Black Death. It's like even after Black Death, few people who were very superficial, they just wanted to ask something to God, and they just wanted to change their living. They thought that no God, nothing is going to help us. We are the own creator of ourselves, and if we want to change our life, we can only change our life because of us only. So that's the reason humanism also emerged. So humanism focus on humanity, worldly object. It's focused on the things we do, not the religious stuff, prayers. Okay. Humanist scholars hoped to use the wisdom of the ancient to increase their understanding of their own time. So humanist scholars, they were like hoping, they want people to use their wisdom, their knowledge, not to depend on the superficial stuffs already written in the holy textbooks. Okay. Renaissance art reflected humanist concerns. Like artists of the Middle Ages, Renaissance artists portray religious figures such as Mary, Jesus, and saints. However, they often set their figures against Greek or Roman background. Painters also produce portraits of well-known figures of the day, reflecting the humanistic interest in individual achievement. Renaissance artists learned the rules of perspective. Now, when they are like, obviously, when we are creating something, when we are using a creativity, when we are making something not right now available, okay. So obviously, our perspective is different from the normal people, right? Our thinking way is different. We are thinking in a very different level. Okay, so that's why Renaissance artists learned the rules of perspective. They started like analyzing things. They started uh, thinking in a not in a regular pattern. They started thinking in a irregular pattern, and that's why creativity emerged. So these were the okay. If you can see my screen, these were the Renaissance artists: Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael. Leonardo da Vinci was born in 1452. Most popular painting is Mona Lisa. Made sketches of nature and models of undersea boats and flying machines. Deserted corpses, dead bodies to learn how bones and muscles work. Michelangelo, he was a sculptor, engineer, painter, architect, poet. He shaped stone into masterpieces like Pieta, which captures the sorrow of Mary as she cradled the dead Christ on her knees. So this painting is showing that when Jesus Christ died, and how his mother Mary took him in his own hand. Okay, he also sculptured David, a statue of biblical shepherd who killed the giant Goliath. So these two statues were his the famous one. Okay, and then came the Raphael. He studied the work of Da Vinci and Michelangelo, blended Christians and classical style, when known for School of Athens, pictures of an imaginary gathering of great thinkers and scientists, including Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. And this painting, if you can see the painting, let me zoom it. In this painting, Raphael includes his face, Da Vinci face, and Michelangelo face. Best known for his tender portrait of Madonna. This is Madonna. I here included the faces. So this was the Renaissance period, okay? And the Renaissance writers, I don't know whether we should read this or not. Okay, yeah. Sir Thomas More, his famous work is Utopia. This was a very famous one. Francois Rabelais, his famous work is Gar Gargantua and Pendragon. William Shakespeare. Okay, let's. I just want a 1 minute break. Then we'll start. Okay, where it is. Okay, I just want a 1 minute break. Then we'll start Dr. Foster's. In your textbook, that's unit second. Dr. Foster's is written by Christopher Marlow. So I'll go through with the summary of that. Just give me a break of 1 minute. Okay, so let's discuss. You all can open your page number 15. Till now, we finished the background of the literature of 15th and 16th century. Even before that, I tried my best to finish to give you a linking picture of that. Now we are going to deal with Marlow. Okay, Dr. Foster's. I don't want to. I'm not going to read each and every line of this. You have to read it by your own. And for you, tomorrow you have to tell me what unit 3 I am giving to you. Tell me what William Shakespeare write in King Lear. What is a story about it? Why it is called the tragic flow? What tragic flow in it? Why it is a tragedy? You have to tell me all these questions. Okay. Okay, first we'll go to Dr. Faustus. Okay, Dr. Faustus is a Renaissance tragic hero. So this story is about a person named Dr. Faustus. He was a very intellectual person. He has knowledge of so many subjects. Okay, and now he wants to learn something superficial. He wants to learn something magical. I'll read it so I can explain you better. Okay, Dr. Faustus as a Renaissance tragic hero, one of the Marlow's play. When we have deep analysis of Marlowe play, we come to know that there is a great depiction of the spirit of Renaissance in this. Okay, when you read Renaissance text and Old English text and Middle English text, you will find that there is a huge difference between these texts. Okay. Marlowe's age has been influenced by the Renaissance spirit because there was also much influence on the Machiavellian spirit in all the ways of the life of people that the age of Machiavelli. His Florentine statement was a view that whatever desire or wish of for gaining something was to be erupted in someone's disposition should have been executed or fulfilled at any cost or okay here what he's saying that uh, Machiavelli is a person who was born in 1469 and died in 1527. Okay, he is a Florentine statesman, and he thinks that whatever desire or wish for gaining, whatever we wish or desire for something, let it be anything. Okay, something was to be erupted in someone's disposition. So whatever we are praying to God, that is a erupted or the disposition of someone should be executed or fulfilled at any cost or hook by crook. Here he's saying that whatever we are wishing, that should be fulfilled by hook or crook. It's not like okay, let it be. It's not required also. The teaching and preaching of Machiavelli. Why we are doing Machiavelli? Okay, let's go to the Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus, the hero of the play, is an outstanding figure with all the ornaments of the Renaissance, as his character presents a great earning of limitless power. Why there is not a background of that? I just wanted to explain you the analysis. I find something. Okay, let's read it. Dr. Foster is written by Christopher Marlowe, shows the spirit of Renaissance. It encapsulates the power for the search of knowledge and quest for external knowledge. So here, as I told you, Dr. Foster was a very intellectual person. Okay, he wants to learn so many stuff. He wants to learn so many languages. He wants to learn so many subjects. Okay, so he was like he has something in him. He wanted to learn everything. He wants to become powerful like a god. Okay, Marlowe has shown the humanistic value of the man in the society along with the morality guided by the spirit of reformation. The play tries to establish Faustus as a man of Renaissance who is in a quest for knowledge. As I told you, even in the Renaissance period, people are like dying to get the knowledge. So In the Renaissance period, Dr. Faustus, Christopher Marlowe wrote this novel, this play, Dr. Faustus, based on that period itself. If you started reading the text, if you started reading the prominent author of the ages, and when you compare ages, I mean that age to different age, you will find the changes. Okay, so this Dr. Faustus, it is a text of the which period? Renaissance period. Because in the Renaissance time, even people were like dying to get external knowledge. That's why whenever they are going, crusaders going to another country and they are bringing another country textbook, manuscripts or books, science book, astronomy book, maths book, people are just like dying to get the knowledge of that. Okay, the theme of the play include humanism, spirit of inquiry, necromancy, moral conflict, and biblical allusions, dominion. The element of imitation is one of the important elements of Renaissance period. The poets were imitating the classical model, and Marlowe was heavily influenced by Greek and Senecan models. The play, these Greek and Senecan models, they were the scholars of Italy. If you search it, you will find it. The play opens with a chorus, it is written on the typical Greek tragedy, where the chorus highlights the event that seems to occur in the future. The chorus is important in Greek tragedies as it evokes, chorus, what is chorus? When chorus are those people, like imagine a play is happening here, in a stage, and people are coming and playing their roles, and then in between chorus people used to come. Chorus means those people used to come in a break and entertain people. Okay, let's be simple. Okay, as it evokes horror and the upcoming sequence of the event, and Marlowe also depicted the sequence of the event that were about to follow as the play progressed. He depicts Faustus as a man from Germany. Okay, here the play started. Here what he said, Dr. Faustus is a man from Germany who is dissatisfied with the worldly knowledge of logic, reason, and science and others. Dr. Faustus used to think that he is a very intellectual person and he has so much knowledge. Now he's fed up of worldly knowledge. He wants something more. He wants magic, black magic. He wants something. He used to think that he's a powerful person. Okay. And want to acquire more powerful knowledge. The play depicts the spirit of inquiry, which is the prominent essence of Renaissance period. Faustus was a man of wisdom, but lacks practical acumen. That's why we used to say that if you are educated, don't think that you are a practical and reasonable person as well. Education don't give you the practicality and the logicality stuff. If you want to be practical, if you want to use your logic and reason, you have to go and deal. You have to face your own life. That's why do you think that all educated people are like intellectual? No, not all educated people are intellectual. Not all uneducated people are illiterate. Obviously, it's like everyone has their reason. So here in the story, in the Dr. Faustus, he was a very intellectual person. Indeed, he has so much knowledge, but he lacks the practical reasoning. Okay, he was a man in search for knowledge who rejected the worldly knowledge and tries to understand the realm of the necromancy. Necromancy is a kind of knowledge, deals with black magic. Okay, don't worry about it. To acquire a dark power. He persuades necromancy and black arts to quest the power of dominion. Because when people become intellectual, they started thinking that, okay, the world revolves around them. If you are intellectual, that's good. Don't think that worlds revolve around you. Here, Dr. Faustus did the same mistake. Even even in Ramayana, Ravan was a very intellectual person. What we call उसको हिंदी में बोलते थे वो 100 तीन देवों का राजा था. I mean, he has the knowledge of 3 ages But what is the use of that knowledge if you can't use your reason and logic on it? Okay. The element of dominion is, so it's, if you compare Ramayana to Dr. Faustus, it is very similar. In the Ramayana, Ravan did the mistake. In the Dr. Faustus did the mistake. Okay, thinking that he's a very intellectual person. The element of dominion is seen when Faustus bowed down to the evil and the servant Mephistopheles of Lucifer. So here, what Dr. Faustus did, he was like, I have so much knowledge, I want dark knowledge now. So he started praying to the black magic people. So there is a servant of Lucifer. Lucifer, we call it Shaitan. The servant of Lucifer, servant of Shaitan, named Mephistopheles. Lucifer sent Mephistopheles to Dr. Faustus. Okay. Mephistopheles came to Dr. Faustus. He was like, what do you want? Dr. Faustus told him that I want more knowledge. I want black magic. I want knowledge in black magic. Okay. It is firstly a symbolical reference to dominion of the dark power over mankind. Faustus made a deal with the devil for 24 years of service to serve him, and he will sell his soul to Lucifer while encrypting it in his blood. So what happening here? Lucifer made a deal with Mephistopheles. I'll call it servant of Lucifer. Okay. Dr. Faustus make a deal with servant of Lucifer. He said that if you serve me for 24 years of my life, I will give you my soul. This was a deal happened between them. But while he was signing, obviously, when we are dealing with someone and we are signing something, okay, we make a bond. Okay. In the same way, Dr. Faustus make a bond, kind of page written over here that if you serve me for 24 years, then my soul will be yours. And when Dr. Faustus is about to sign, from his own blood, something stopped him. His blood become dried. If we want to sign through our own blood, obviously it should be in a liquid form. So when he took out his blood, and his blood became solid form. So that was a signal to Dr. Faustus not to do that mistake. But ignoring this signal, again he took his blood and signed that paper. So what happened? The element of dominion is also seen when Wagner summons to the devil to scare the clowns to the. Okay, then when Dr. Faustus got that person, Mephistopheles, for him to serve him for 24 years, what Dr. Faustus did, he went to so many places, Paris or somewhere other. He started manipulating people. He started using people. He started playing with people. And when the last day came, when he has to, when second last day came, Dr. Faustus remembers that now it is a time for him to die. And now the time is coming and he has to deliver his soul to Lucifer. Now he was feeling very bad. Okay, he just want to undo all the actions he did. Let me read, then you will get to know. Okay, the element of dominion is also seen when Wagner summons the devil to scare the clowns to serve Wagner, and it reflects that these knowledge of necromancy has a potential to dominate over the world. Obviously, when you are dealing with black magic or something beyond human knowledge, obviously you are the powerful, you are the person who can dominate the world. Okay, same Dr. Faustus was doing. Marlow showcased the journey of Faustus to the origin of Renaissance, ideal of Europe, including Germany, Italy, and France, and Rome. So Dr. Faustus went to these countries and he played with people. The journey of these places significantly throw more meaning into the origin of spirit of inquiry. The element of humanism is one of the most important elements of Renaissance period. Humanism explored the interest in the inward problem of human personality and consequently believed that man is responsible for their own actions. Okay. Foster's inward personally is explored as a person of skeptic. Skeptic. Skeptic means he does not want to accept that whatever is happening in his life is his own mistake. He was just running from his own actions, as he doubted the existence of hell and considered it is a myth. Even he has so much knowledge. Even he is a very intellectual person. Even he has read about hell, heaven, God, Shaitan in the textbook. But he is not ready to accept that after he will deliver his soul to Lucifer, he will go to hell. Okay. Pride. As he was able to master dark arts and summons the spirit of Alexander the Great, Helena, and others, his own pride eventually led to his own downfall, as the knowledge which is attained not only was the potential to dominate over mankind, but also the moral consequence. So, hence, one can observe the humanistic values in the play where Faustus is responsible for his own actions and for his excessive pride of achieving such power. So what happened when Dr. Faustus went to a place where he captured the famous Alexander the Great soul spirit in a bowl? If you read the story, you will get to know everything. Why I'm not reading? Why I'm not going into that? Because I don't have time. You have to do it. You have to read. And whoever, please keep your phone or whatever the gadget in mute. Can't you understand this small thing? You all are adults. I don't understand why I have to repeat this 3-4 times. Faustus is responsible for his own actions and for his excessive pride of achieving such power. The element of reformation also played a significant role in the play. Reformation in England sought for morality in every discipline and manners of life. Marlow depicts the moral conflict in the play where Faustus again. Okay, I'll tell you the story. It's becoming very boring. Okay. Open your book. Let's read from your book. Then you'll get to page number 15. Everyone open it. Come to page number 17. How many people are there in the class? Tell me this first. Can anyone read page number 17? Who are there? So many people are here.
You said page number 17 from where?
Dr. Faustus.
Dr. Faustus. We will concern ourselves only with Dr. Faustus, Marlow's most memorable portrayal of a scholar condemned to eternal damnation for his desire for limitless knowledge. Dr. Faustus, though full of Renaissance ambition and virtue, also has a specifically Christian background. Dr. Faustus retains many elements of the old morality plays, the Renaissance zeal for unlimited knowledge, along with popular 16th century notions of witchcraft and black magic, find their manifestation in this play. To what extent will every man go to fulfill these forbidden desires is the crux of Dr. Faustus. Source of the play?
Yeah, just stop. Read again. Just stop for a moment. So here in this paragraph, what you're finding, what is the gist of it? It is saying that not every human's desire is useful. When we wish for something, just make sure that that is appropriate one, and that is which one you are capable of deal with that sometimes we want something which we are not capable of. Okay, so that will lead to something else, that will take you somewhere else in future, where you cannot able to deal with your own actions. So here, after reading Dr. Foster's, you will find out that whatever you are wishing to, and whatever in whichever way you are putting your actions, make sure that it is logical and reasonable one. Okay, continue please. Source of the play.
Source of the play, Marlow's source for the text appears to be the story of a 16th century scholar, George or Johannes Faustus, who was also a reputed magician. He apparently sold his soul to the devil for 24 years of knowledge and pleasure. His exploits were published in a biography in Frankfurt in 1587. The work was translated in English by an unknown translator, E.F. Gent Marlow, likely used the English translation, which has a strong Protestant outlook. Marlow's Dr. Faustus is thus a tragedy of damnation.
Okay, continue.
The concept of tragedy in the play, Aristotle, the classical Greek dramatist, in his definition of tragedy, states that tragedy is an imitation of an action that is serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude, in the form of action, not of narrative, through pity and fear effecting the proper purgation of these emotions. Aristotle's concept of tragedy was employed with modifications during the period of the Renaissance. In Dr. Faustus, the conflict is between individual will and divine will. The motive of the hero provides the action, and it is the action that is symbolic of the human predicament. Dr. Faustus' desire for insatiable knowledge, power, and pleasure is the motive that leads to action and damnation. Catharsis, which is the ultimate emotional impact of tragedy, is achieved in Dr. Faustus through a proper evacuation of pity and fear. The structure of the play does not conform to all the three unities of time, place, and action. Only the unity of action is maintained here. The events are narrated within a particular time scheme. There is an intervening period between signing of the deed by Dr. Faustus and the final payment. Dr. Faustus is also called a one-man play. He has no family. He only has his colleagues for friends. The tragic predicament of Dr. Faustus is intensified because the ultimate confrontation is between himself and God, not with another mortal. The play is divided into 5 acts with a prologue and epilogue. Let us now begin with an analysis of the play.
Yeah, just wait. So here in the concept of the tragedy of the play, you will find out that there is a definition of a tragedy given by Aristotle. Remember that if you're going for what net exam, even for your own exam also, if you write this definition, you will score more. Your answer should be very good in a subjective way. Okay, then you will find when they talk about Dr. Faustus, the conflict between individual will and divine will. That means when Dr. Faustus has a choice to choose between what he wants, what he thinks is appropriate, or else what a human should think when he's doing something wrong to another person is appropriate. Okay, when you have entire knowledge, when you are very good, very knowledgeable, it does not give you what should I say, blank check to go and destroy others person. Okay, when you are knowledgeable, use your knowledge for a good sake, not to destroy another human. Here, what Dr. Foster did, instead of using his own worldly knowledge for good stuff, he was quest for more knowledge, and he did a bad deal with whom? Lucifer. And at last, he doesn't have any choice. At last, what happened in the play? He has to give his soul to Lucifer. And what happened? Obviously, I'm not saying that this is a good, this is a real play. This is not a real. It includes fiction in it, but the morality, the lessons this play is giving is very useful for all of us. And in the page number 16, they talked about miracle, morality, and interlude. Miracle play used to deal with Jesus Christ, or whatever the play used to. I mean, there were three kinds of play that time: miracle, morality, interludes. Okay, miracle plays deals with. They used to show how Jesus Christ again alive from the death. So miracle play was happening depend on the Jesus Christ life story. Okay, morality play depend upon the moral lessons. Interlude were the plays which used to tell the lives of the saint people that time, who were like intellectual people, who were very knowledgeable or saint. So these play have their they divided plays in three parts: morality, miracle, and interlude. So I differentiated them, and they even taught about the university bits. So there were seven important dramatists, poets, or authors of that age. Some six belongs to University of Oxford. Three belongs to University of Oxford. Three belongs to University of Cambridge, and one person who is Thomas Cade. He doesn't belong to any university, but he's still considered as a university wits. University wits were those people who went to universities, and then they studied, they learned stuff. That's why and then they started their own art, their own text. That's why they people are called university wits. And Christopher Marlowe is one from them. He went to Cambridge. If you here come to page number 16, I'll read it. Christopher Marlowe was born in 1564 and died in 1903. If you can't remember the date, no issue, but you should have the idea about the text. Was the most striking amongst the university wits. Marlowe's four great plays was Tamburlaine in two parts. He wrote Tamburlaine 1, Tamburlaine 2. In 1587 to 1588, Dr. Faustus 1588, The Jews of Malta 1589, and Edward II 1593. If you remember, it will be very easy. It's in a sequence form. Okay, 1588, 89, and 1903. Though he did not have a clear knowledge of his stage, Marlowe brought to it an extraordinary defiance and revolt. His first play was about the Tartar conqueror Tamburlaine, who rose from a poor shepherd to become a master of Asia. So they just tell you just a single line of Tamburlaine play. Okay, Marlowe makes him a Superman, though without any rules of morality, and a conqueror in the true spirit of Renaissance. In the next play, Dr. Faustus, Marlowe took the insatiable thirst for knowledge as the main theme. Here, the theme of this play is quest for knowledge. Don't forget the theme. You have to deal with everything: setting, characters' names, what that character is saying, theme, what play morality is dealing with, who wrote that play, when wrote, and with that play, what was the adaptations of that play. Okay, in the Jew of Malta, the Jew, barbarous, expert in his richness, he lust. Okay, in the Jew of Malta, there was a person called Barbarous. He was a Jew and he was very powerful. He was very rich and he doesn't want to share his money to another person. And that was the story of Jew of Malta. You don't need to read it because it's not in your textbook. Lust for destruction of his Christian enemies, and because he doesn't want to share his money to the Jewish people, to the Jewish country, it led to the destruction of Christians. Okay, and even because of that, he killed his own daughter, even his own wife, in his anger so much. Okay, when you read English literature, you will get to know that you will get to know so many of your own. Okay, you will get to know that what should you have to do next. You will learn from other person's mistake, no matter whether it is fiction or whether it is a story about real life. Just read it. English literature is all about reading. Marlow plays gave the English audience a thrill of enthusiasm and national pride in the achievement of their great rights. English drama was as supplying as that of the ancient they felt. The fiery speeches of the triumph character became famous for the power of his blank verse. So this play is written in which style? That is blank verse. Blank verse is what? You have to know everything. And in this small text, you will not find everything. Just read. Prologue means a kind of page written before the whole novel. Okay. Here you will see, you will read page number 18. You will get to know what this prologue is about. Let me go through with the questions so I can wind up this class. Okay. Sample questions. What is morality play? I explained you. Why is Dr. Foster's a tragedy? Why it is tragedy? Because at last Dr. Foster died. Tragedy is all about at last a person's downfall. In whichever the textbook, a person is downfalling because of his own action is led to a tragic. So it's led to a tragedy. Okay. Don't remember it. You don't have to learn it or just use your reason. What is the theme of Dr. Foster's? Just now I told you. Anyone can tell me what is the theme of Dr. Foster's? What is the theme of Dr. Foster's? What is the theme of Dr. Foster's? Arey yaar. What I was telling you, what I am explaining you from so long. The three themes of the longing of heroes of infinite. First thing, he wants infinite knowledge. Second thing, he wants power. Third thing, he wants pleasure. Read this. Listen to my lecture. His overriding ambition. And finally, the fatal contract between himself and the demons. Demons means Lucifer, Metamorphosis. Dr. Faustus has a typical Vanessa. Dr. Faustus has a typical Vanessa man's love for beauty, pleasure, intellectual power, and classical literature. But hedonism or the philosophy of pleasure undermines his motive. Okay. Last question. Why cannot Dr. Faustus be saved? Dr. Faustus realizes the folly of his mislead. At last, when he is about to die, he realized the mistake he did. Okay. When it is too late, because obviously that is a that leads to a proverb of Hindi proverb. Apashtai hobe kya jab chidiya chug gayi khet. Now, what is the use of regret when your time is already gone? When you didn't did anything, when you have the plenty of time, then you can only regret. So Dr. Foster realizes the folly of his mislead when it is too late. Genuine repentance is impossible for him as he gives into a sin of disappear. Thus, he loses the chance to attain salvation. So this was all about Dr. Foster's. I want all you to read. Please read the background of the English literature of 16th and 15th century and even Dr. Foster's. So that's all for today's class. If anyone has any questions, please ask me. I have 2-3 minutes left for this class. What is going on in your chat? What are you talking about? I have no idea about the submission of assignment. That only Madhuri ma'am will tell you, or you will get the water. You will get the updation soon. I have no idea about it. I'm just your academic counselor. I'm here just to teach you. I have no idea what university is telling you when they will ask you about your assignment or when your exam is going to end. I have no idea about it. prepare your assignment, prepare yourself for exam, then you don't need any clarity. Okay, so nobody have any question? That's all for this class. Next class is going to happen here soon. Have a good day to all of you. Bye.
Good morning, ma'am. Hello.